in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for attending our webinar on James Madison University's Paralegal Certificate Program. My name is Michelle Hamer, and I'm your program advisor for JMU's Paralegal Certificate Program. Our program is just one of many excellent certificates available through JMU's Outreach and Engagement Department. We offer a variety of career-enhancing certificate programs to the Virginia community, including Six Sigma Green and Black Belts, as well as our new paralegal certificate. James Madison University serves the state from its campus in the beautiful Shenandoah Valley. We are committed to serving the citizens of the Virginia areas through our academic excellence and outreach. Members of the extended James Madison University community are changing the world in nearly every sector of the global society. With over 4,600 graduates each year, we are committed to offering the highest level of educational training that you would expect from James Madison. JMU's Paralegal Certificate Program is a 6-month non-credit program which consists of online instruction delivered by licensed, experienced attorneys who bring their real-world expertise to the classroom, ensuring that your learning experience is informative and engaging. We cover 6 topics in our program, including Introduction to Law, Torts and Personal Injury, Legal Research and Writing, Civil Litigation, Contract Law, and Family Law. Each of these classes focuses on the applicable skills which you will need to become a successful paralegal. At this time, I would like to turn this over to our presenter, Jennifer John, who will be leading you through this presentation this evening.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Michelle, for that wonderful introduction. I'd like to thank all of our attendees who are on the webinar with us tonight. And before I get started, I do want to make sure that my audio is coming through and that you can hear both myself and Michelle. You'll notice there's a small hand icon next to your name. Can you go ahead and just click on that hand icon, which will indicate to us that the audio is coming through. So we'll just give it a couple of seconds for all the attendees to go ahead and raise their hand. Oh, wonderful. I see hands going up all over the place. Terrific. The other thing that I do want to mention, you'll notice that there is a question box that is right on your panel. And as I'm going through the presentation, feel free to go ahead and type any questions that you might have into that panel. And then Michelle will try to answer as many as possible during the presentation. And I'd say we'll probably save the last 5 minutes to wrap up any remaining questions, and then also let you know what to expect after the webinar is over. So let me go ahead and get started. First of all, I wanted to give you a quick overview of what to expect during the next 40 to 45 minutes. First, my whole goal for this presentation tonight is to give you enough information so that you can make an informed decision about which program might be the best fit for you. Of course, we do hope you select James Madison University, but there are a couple of different options out there, and perhaps it may not be the best fit. So I'm going to be talking about a couple of things that are hopefully going to give you the answer to that question. And also, I've got some pretty good screenshots about why you should become a paralegal, and then is the James Madison program the right one for you? I do have information about the terrific format of our program, which is called a blended format. We offer both online content, which is supplemented with live instructor-led training, and we really feel that's the best of both educational worlds. I do have information about the actual content of the program, the modules that we cover, as well as some information about the excellent instructors that teach for us. I'll be wrapping up with some information about the price for the program, and then I'll turn it back over to Michelle, and she's going to cover some payment options that are available for you, and then also some information about how you can get enrolled in the program. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the paralegal field itself. I know a lot of you have done your research, and you may be considering this as a very, very strong career choice for yourself. But I'd like to ask my attendees, why should you become a paralegal? Well, I think I've got several compelling reasons that I'd like to share with everyone tonight. First of all, did you know that the paralegal career track is ranked as a top 10 career? And that's according to the Wall Street Journal. Also, did you know that paralegals are ranked as one of the best jobs in America? And that's according to Money Magazine. As our profession continues to experience exceptional growth, I've been in the paralegal field myself for well over 20 years. I actually received my paralegal certification back in the mid-1980s. And at that point, paralegal as a career option was relatively unknown. We've really seen a tremendous growth simply because there are a lot of job openings out there. And according to the U.S. Department of Labor and Bureau statistics, the field itself is projected to grow by more than 18% through the year 2020. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a field, probably other than healthcare, with extremely potential, healthy growth potential over the next decade. Also, employers with law firms are very savvy. They're trying to reduce their costs and increase the efficiency of legal services. So they're expected to hire more paralegals and legal assistants to really fill a lot of those jobs that were once held by first and second year associates at law firms. I'd say following the cutbacks that we experienced during the recent recession, most law firms are rebuilding their support staff by hiring paralegals. And quite frankly, paralegals are a lot less costly alternative to lawyers, and they are performing a much wider and broader variety of duties, including those tasks that were once done by first and second year associates. This is causing that increase in demand for paralegals as well as for legal assistants. Now, as far as the best program for you, there are a lot of options out there, and I think that's probably one of the strengths of the paralegal education field. There are a lot of times the program that's chosen by each student is going to depend on several factors. First of all, prior educational experience. Individuals that already have an associate or a bachelor degree, they're not very likely to take a paralegal program that is associated with a 2-year or 4-year degree. Quite frankly, they would be retaking courses that they've already committed to in their credit-based programs, and it really just doesn't make sense from a time standpoint or a financial standpoint to attend one of those programs. Also, we've seen the prior life experience really plays a big role in the selection of which program might be a good fit for you. We found that many paralegal certificate students have valuable real-world experience, but they simply lack that certification or the credentialing that they need to be competitive for job opportunities. And then also motivation is a big consideration. Students who take certificate programs, they have to be highly motivated because they're expected to gain a substantial amount of knowledge and skills in a very relatively short period of time. The other area that I'd like to mention is compensation. Graduates of certificate programs are higher compensated than graduates of associate or bachelor degree programs. Now, this particular statistic comes directly from the International Paralegal Managers Association, or IPMA. Excuse me, in case you'd like to Google that. The IPMA is made up of paralegal managers and directors from the law firms all across the country. Each year, they have an annual survey, and they're asking all of the directors and administrators from the law firm a lot of fundamental questions as far as job satisfaction, paralegal raises, paralegal salaries, and then bonuses. And each year this survey comes back that those paralegals that work for the firms that are surveyed are higher compensated if they have a certificate degree rather than the 2- or 4-year bachelor degree. Now, as far as reasons people actually actually attend our program, we have found that many of the programs out there are a little bit resistant to change and including the newest technologies into the program. And I think this quote from Carl Rogers states it best. The only person who is educated is the one who has learned how to learn and then how to change after you learn. I think our program really prepares our graduates to work in that ever-changing field for paralegals. And there are so many new advances from a technology standpoint that we have incorporated into our program, such as online legal research, online interaction as far as the actual training methodology that we use. Our students log into an online portal to meet face-to-face with an instructor, and a lot of times in law firms you're going to be doing that type of online interaction. So I think that's one of the main reasons that our program is very progressive and keeps abreast of the new technologies that are out there. In addition, there are several factors that people consider before they join the program. First of all, a lot of the backgrounds are going to vary, and the majority of students that go through our program come from three main areas. First of all, they're interested in becoming a paralegal. Perhaps they are looking for a complete career change. I can think back on some of our students that have been stay-at-home moms and have very good organizational skills, that they've been out of the job market for a while. So I'd say approximately 30% of our students are looking for a completely different career working as a paralegal. Another 30 to 35% of our students are really preparing themselves for law school. They're looking at the paralegal program as a stepping stone to their ultimate goal, which would be to go on to law school and practice as an attorney. It's really a very good way to find out if you're passionate about law and if it's going to be a good fit for you, because quite frankly, the financial and time commitment standpoint for law school is substantially greater, and a lot of students use the paralegal training as that stepping stone that they need to make that final decision to go on to law school. Then another about 30% of our students, they are currently working, but they want that legal knowledge to enhance and advance their current career. Some of those examples would be business owners, social service providers, healthcare providers, or contract and government staff. We had a recent graduate that had a real estate practice, and he went through the program so that he would have a much better grasp of legal terminology and contracts so that he could better support his own clients. So a lot of different reasons, not only just to become a paralegal, but many individuals go through the program either to be eventually become an attorney or just to augment their current career. Now, as far as the JMU education and what sets us apart, first of all, the name and reputation of JMU is well known within Virginia, but also across the country, and we've been recognized as one of the top universities around the country. According to Kiplinger's February 2012 report, JMU was ranked number 28 of best values in schools that deliver a stellar education, but more importantly, at an affordable price. Also, our program is uniquely offered in a 100% online format with self-paced modules coupled with that live instructor-led training. It's important to us that you succeed in your learning experience here at JMU, and that's why we provide continued support throughout your paralegal training, as well as phone and email support from our dedicated program staff and instructors. We're available to answer any technical questions regarding website access and also provide instructional support for assignments or materials. We also provide a thorough orientation prior to the first day of class. In addition, each of our instructors are practicing attorneys. we felt that it was critical to include attorneys rather than full-time faculty members, because quite frankly, attorneys are the only individuals that are working on a daily basis with paralegals, and we felt that they had the best knowledge to be able to impact to our students what it takes to be a successful paralegal. Now, I do want to give you a little overview of our instructor training. Students would meet in the online portal, very similar to what you're attending tonight. It's a web conferencing system. The main difference, though, is that our students actually have the ability to talk directly to the instructor via either the conference number or through their headset, and they can also talk directly with the students that are on board. So they meet in this web conferencing system. Our instructors can share beyond the PowerPoint that I'm sharing with you tonight, any type of assignment documentation. They can also do desktop sharing where they can go directly to any website and share that information with the student as well. So it's a very intuitive system, and one that is very, very important to us, so that our students do have that actual live interaction with the instructor. Now, as far as the details for the program itself, it is a 6-month program that consists of 120 contact hours. Now, the online class sessions themselves, those are 2 hours long, and they meet on Monday and Wednesday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., or we also have another option, which is Saturday classes that meet from 9 to 11, and then 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. In addition to the required meeting sessions with your instructor, we also have online modules for you to complete, along with, of course, your outside reading and then class assignments. Frequently, we get questions from prospective students that they want to know, now, I'm working full-time, and I want to make sure that I'm going to have adequate time to be successful in the program. So what we typically tell them is that you need to estimate at least 4 hours outside of class for each hour in class. So you're going to be meeting 4 hours each week with your instructor, and an additional 16 hours outside of class. So approximately a total of 20 hours. We found that most of our students that are working full-time as well as have family obligations are very successful in the program. So it's not a concern that you should have. Obviously, you're going to need to clear off your schedule, make sure that you take vacations, anything along those lines before the program, but we found it's very, very manageable. We also have prospective students that are concerned about missing a class, or they already have a family wedding that's been scheduled during the program, anything along those lines. We know that life circumstances come up. There are also health issues that you may be dealing with as far as a family member or yourself. So we do realize that you're going to miss some of those online class sessions. We recommend that you go ahead and just reach out, first of all, to your instructor, let them know which classes you're going to be missing so they can give you the assignments ahead of time. But more importantly, make sure that you network with students that are in your class. Get their email address and phone number so that they can share any type of notes that they've taken and help you prepare as far as any of those online class sessions that you've met or that you've missed. I do want to give you an overview of the 6 different modules that are incorporated into our program. First of all, we start out with Introduction to Law, along with the next module, which is our Tort and Personal Injury. The Introduction to Law is a very good overview of all of the different court systems that a paralegal is going to be working in. We introduce you to legal writing and citation, and then the most important fact or a topic that we cover would be attorney and paralegal ethics. There are very strict rules that an attorney must follow as far as client ethics, and also what a paralegal can and cannot do. So a very good overview and basic introduction to law in that particular module. Next, we move on to our tort law and personal injury. And in this particular module, the course provides a very thorough overview of the causes of actions and remedies available to a person who is injured as a result of a certain type of civil wrong that is not an actual, or that is known as a tort. For those of you that may have seen any of those TV shows on Judge Judy, anything along those lines, a lot of what you hear in those TV shows are tort cases. Examples such as a tree fell on my house and who's obligated for that. Those are the types of topics that are brought into tort law. And students are going to learn how to identify and apply the different standards of care in negligence actions, and then also analyze and apply the different types of damages available in tort law. So you're taking those first two modules, Introduction to Law and then Tort and Personal Injury. After that, the students move into the next two sets, which are legal research and writing and civil litigation. I would say these two modules are probably the ones that have the bulk of your assignments as well as writing assignments. In the legal research and writing module, students are going to learn about the foundation for finding legal authority, conducting legal analysis, and then writing basic legal memorandum. Also, students will conduct legal research through Westlaw, which is online legal research database, and then also identify and distinguish the difference between primary and secondary authority, and then, of course, author the legal memo. Along with the legal research and writing class, students take the civil litigation course, which prepares them to work in the context of civil litigation. I would say about 70% of the practicing paralegals across the country are working in civil litigation. It's really the #1 area, and we do a very thorough overview of the Virginia legal system. It's similar to many of the other states, and this knowledge is applicable outside of the state as well. Also during the course, students are going to learn both the federal rules of civil procedure as well as the Virginia rules of civil procedure. So the civil litigation is a very large component of the program. And then we move on to the last two modules, which are contract law and family law. Now in the contract law course, we provide an introduction to a very broad area of contract law and also include the basics of contracts, all the elements necessary to create a valid contract. I'm sure a lot of you have already signed off on your own contracts, such as the purchase of an automobile or the purchase of a home, and it really broadens all of that so that students learn the basic requirements of not only an enforceable contract, but also the performance and remedies that are available upon the breach of a contract. And then last we have our very popular family law class. It's an overview of the basic principles that include the terms and procedures that are associated with many of the familiar areas in family law, such as general domestic practices, divorce, support, child custody, and of course property division. In addition to those 6 modules, we also include career development right in the program. Now, as far as the paralegal career itself and job openings, we do want to give our students all the tools that they need to ensure that they're able to be successful during their job search. So unlike perhaps your undergraduate days when there was an actual placement office, our non-credit continuing education department doesn't have a placement office, but we do give you all the tools that you're going to need to be successful in your job search. So we include a paralegal career options seminar, and then my apologies that it's a little difficult to read the bar below that, but it's a resume writing and interview techniques seminar. Now these are the only two topics that are not taught by a practicing attorney. We thought that it was very important to bring in an actual paralegal director who has hired hundreds and hundreds of paralegals and knows what it takes to have a very effective resume, and then also how you need to prepare for your interview. How do you do a background investigation about the law firm that you're going to be interviewing with? And for our program, we've actually hired an exceptional instructor. His name is Craig Hardesty, and he's the paralegal director at King and Spalding, which is a national level firm. He has over 100 paralegals that report to him, and is able to impart his substantial background in not only hiring paralegals, but also is able to talk about all the different career options and areas of law that are open for a paralegal to practice in. So we're very proud of our career development and that area that we include in the program. What you see now is an overview of our upcoming program. It begins on February 2nd and runs through July 6th. And this is actually a Saturday format. You'll see the very first row, Saturday 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then 1 to 3. As I mentioned, our students are only taking 2 modules at any given time. And of course, we will start out with the orientation and then career preparation on February 2nd. And then we go right into the tort and personal injury class. And the very next week, February 9th, students begin Introduction to Law and continue with tort and personal injury. The week of March 16th is when our students complete the first 2 modules. Since there is a break, that's the time period when our students are completing their first set of final examinations, which are administered online. And then students begin legal research and writing and civil litigation, with the break May 18th for the final exams. And you'll notice May 25th, which is a national holiday, of course, students are off then, and they complete the program with family law and contract law. Any national holiday, of course, students would not be attending classes, but in this particular program that we're running starting February, there's only one actual holiday that's scheduled in it. Also, we do have time for those of you that are interested in registering for that program. The spaces do fill up quickly, but if you would like to get enrolled in our popular Saturday format, of course, Michelle is available to help you get enrolled as soon as possible. All right, I did want to give you a good overview of the instructor hiring process that we have in place. When we started the program, we actually placed an ad with the Virginia Bar Association, and after I placed that advertisement, I must have received over 100 resumes from practicing attorneys all around the state of Virginia, as well as out of Washington, D.C. And based on those resumes, I was looking at 2 different things as far as my criteria. First of all, did they have a background in the subject that we teach? So were they an expert in that field of law? But also I was looking for experience. Have they worked with paralegals before? And those were 2 very important criteria that I selected. So after reviewing those resumes, I was able to take those applications down to about 25 potential applicants. I had phone interviews with each of the applicants so that I could ask the pointed questions to ensure that they did have that experience with paralegals that we were looking for. The next step in the actual hiring process was to schedule what we call a test teach. This is when the potential instructor would deliver a class scenario to myself and then other team members so that we could gauge their effectiveness in class, what their demeanor was like, to make sure that they were engaging. I'm sure a lot of you can think back on a time during your undergraduate days when you really dreaded going into a particular class. And quite frankly, that was typically because the instructor was boring. And we wanted to make sure that not only were our instructors subject matter experts, but they were lively and knew how to keep that class moving. And then, of course, after each of our class sessions, our students will be evaluating the instructor. We use those student evaluations to make decisions on if we are going to rehire the instructor. So we take our students' feedback into careful consideration for the ongoing instructors that we use at James Madison University. All right, I do want to talk a little bit as far as our entrance requirements. First of all, we require one of two things, either a 4-year undergraduate degree, and that can be in any area. It does not have to necessarily be in pre-law. The majority of our students do not have any type of pre-law background. The program, of course, is set up so that anyone can come into the program and learn from the ground up. The next bullet point, which is a little difficult to read, is that if you don't have that undergraduate degree, we do require a minimum of 4 years of professional office work experience. Again, that can be in any field or any area, but we do want to set our students up for success, so we require one of two things, the 4-year degree or a minimum of 4 years of professional office work experience. And the last bullet is internet access. Of course, we prefer high speed as well as a headset for the online classes. But we do have to mention that because surprisingly, we have had individuals enroll in the program and they did not have that high speed internet access that's required from the online component standpoint. So an undergraduate degree or 4 years of professional work experience as well as a home computer with high-speed internet access. All right, as far as the program cost, the tuition is only $4,995, but that includes all of your e-textbooks and course materials, as well as access to the online content in our testing center. We also include a student subscription to Westlaw, which is the online legal research database, the career preparation classes, as well as a graduate certificate. So everything is included. There aren't any type of hidden fees, such as an application fee. So everything included in the tuition of $4,995. As far as earning your certificate, we do require that you attend your career preparation classes, and we strongly recommend that you attend the majority of the online instructor-led training classes. Now, for each of the 6 courses, you do need to achieve a minimum of a 70% in each of those courses, but an overall cumulative average of 75% to graduate. Now, here's an overview of our upcoming programs. As I mentioned, we do have the February 2nd through July 6th Saturday format that meets from 9 to 11 and 1 to 3, but we also have a program beginning May 6th through October 16th, and that happens to be our Monday and Wednesday evening format that meets from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And then as far as payment options, we have a couple of different options that I'd like to share with you. But before that, I do want to let you know that the majority of financial aid programs, such as FAFSA or federal grants, those are only available to students who are attending credit courses. Because our paralegal program is a non-credit-based program, these types of traditional forms of financial or student loans are not available. Of course, you can pay by credit card. We accept either Visa, MasterCard, or American Express. excuse me, and that you can also select to be invoiced for your registration payment if you prefer to pay by personal or company check. We also recommend that you reach out to your own financial banking institution or credit union to determine if they'll provide a loan for your tuition payment. But in addition to those options, we do have a relationship with Sallie Mae for what they call their Smart Option Student Loan. Now, Sallie Mae is very similar to a private-based loan, and Sallie Mae is going, once you go onto their website, and we do have a link directly from our website, but if you'd like, you need to go directly through the Sallie Mae link, and once you're in our account, I would say it's about a 15-minute online application. They're going to take a look at a couple of different factors. Number one, what your income to debt looks like, and then also what your credit score is. We found in the past that a credit score that is below 630, they're going to recommend that you get a co-borrower. So once you have everything in place and your loan is approved, JMU will certify the loan, and then you can register for the program. Now, as far as enrollment, because Michelle Hamer is our student advisor and has that direct contact with each one of our prospective students, I'm going to go ahead and turn the webinar back over to Michelle so she can close it out, give you some additional information about how you can enroll, and then also what you can expect after the webinar's over.
Thank you, Jennifer. Well, I hope you all were very informed with this and answered most of your questions. If you do have additional questions after the webinar, please feel free to reach out to me at my email or phone. If you don't have that information, you will be receiving an email from me tomorrow with a copy of this presentation and some additional information on how to enroll and how to contact me so that I can help you. As far as enrolling, you should visit our website at jmuparalegal.org. And there's an enroll button on the website that takes you directly into our registration system. You're basically going to walk through the instructions there, create a new account, and register for your class. We encourage you to register online with a credit card if possible. That's the quickest way to get your registration through, and it will give you an immediate email that you have successfully registered in the program. And as Jennifer mentioned, it does start coming up on February 2nd, and we are looking at filling this class up. So we would really, really encourage you to think about enrolling as soon as possible. And that will also give you the opportunity to receive all of your orientation information, all of your logon information in ample time so that we can troubleshoot with you if you have any problems logging in. Aside from that, we're very, very excited about you joining us at JMU, and there's my contact information on the screen right there. And as I mentioned, you will be hearing from me over the course of the next day or so with a follow-up email and a phone call just to make sure that we can get your questions answered and get you enrolled as soon as possible.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for that closing, Michelle. Looks like we have a couple minutes left, but we do want to honor everybody's time tonight. And thank you for attending the webinar. Hopefully you've got the information that you were looking for and are ready to make an informed decision. We certainly would hope to see you in our upcoming February program. If not, of course, we've got our May 6th program as an option as well. So that with that all being shared, again, thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope everyone has a great rest of your evening.